Hey Charlie, how are you? Okay, so this is the tutorial for the Venezuelan arepas. This one is called Reina Pepiada. I'll write it for you on a message. Okay, so here's what we'll be working with. The chickens right there. Tomato is actually optional. I mean, technically you shouldn't have tomato, but I like tomato, so or maybe you could also use red pepper. But yeah, it's basically just that. Ideally, it's this kind of avocado, but if you only have the green big one, I don't know how it's called. That's good too. Okay, so let's get started. Here's obviously we have to boil the chicken to cook it. I'm guessing, well, you know how to cook a chicken, right? But the only thing I wanted to show you was that I like to add some, how do you call it, some onion into the water while boiling the chicken, because I feel it gives it, just a bit of taste. Yeah, and a spoonful of salt, but that's about it. Now we'll get into the dough of the arepas. Oh, okay. I don't really have a measure. I'm not going to tell you like, oh, you have to add 200 grams of flour. No, I don't know. I will just show you like the final, like the amount. Okay. So that's about it. I'm guessing I'll get about 2, maybe 3 arepas from there. I always have leftover. I'm really not good at measuring stuff. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's best to get some leftover than to miss, Now, I like to add sugar and salt. I mean, it's usually with sugar and salt. But the thing is, I usually like stuff a bit sweet, So I'll add like a full spoon, or whatever you call this, a saltspoon of sugar, and it's actually going to be more sugar than salt. Okay. So. It seems I ran out of sugar. Wait. Okay, about that, maybe. It will be a bit more. So you add that, and I just cut my cats. They threw off a chair. Anyway, and yeah, just a pinch of salt, like, well, maybe more than a pinch. Really, I don't know how, I never measure this stuff. Okay, but it's definitely more sugar than salt, because I feel like the flour itself, it's a bit salty. But that's up to you. I mean, if you don't like it, if you prefer it not to be sweet, you could even not add sugar at all. When I first started, I didn't use sugar. Okay, so you mix it up, and then the thing is, we're going to add the water. It's going to, I'll stop this. It's a bit tricky doing this with a phone on my hand, but it's like, you don't use that much water at the beginning. You just, how do you call that? You mix it up while it's going in, then you stop, and you let it pool. Like, it's going to be a bit pool, and you're going to think like, oh shit, maybe I just used too much water. But the idea is that you just let it sit there, like you mix it up. Actually, maybe I might be missing a bit of water, maybe not. We'll see later on. What I usually do is that I just let it sit there, let it absorb the water. When it looks like it's just pooled, and you just too much water, you just let it there, sit there until it looks like it's going to look in a bit. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's pooled, like there's a pool of water here. I just wanted to show you that, and it's going to absorb the water. Like, you know, the flour is going to absorb the water, and it will look a bit different later on. Not that much different, just not pooled. I have already, you know, how do you call that? Chopped a bit of cebolla, of onion. Yeah, the idea is that ideally just really small. I'm guessing you know how to do that too. If you don't, well, you can ask me. Okay, so here's the dough for the arepas. For the third time now. I'm really not sure if you can see any difference, but it is different. Mainly it's not pulled anymore, and it's quite mushy, you know. So we'll get into doing the arepas themselves. You just make like a hand. You take a handful, you know, like maybe like the palm of your hand, kind of. And the idea is that you roll, you know. At this point, you might realize that maybe you'll need more water for the dough, or maybe not. The important thing is that you make it like really, how do you say that? Like, not compact. Like really mix it really well, so that when you do the arepa, it won't have cracks. You know, that's kind of the measure, like the way you know you've done a good arepa. The size of the arepa itself, it may vary. You might want to do them bigger or smaller. I like to do them a bit like a square, like not completely round. This is actually a bit small for what we need, but you can see there are no cracks, right? Not really. If it did have cracks, it's because it's either not mixed enough, so you have to, you know, just roll it over some more, or you just need to add more water because it's a bit dry. Okay. Yeah, I'll add a bit more dough because I want it to be bigger. I roll it again so it mixes up better. Another thing you want to look for is that it's thick, you know, because we're going to open them up. So if it's too thin, it will just how you say that, disarm, like break apart. Yeah, that's the word, break apart. So the idea is that it's thinner, thicker, and I don't do them too big. I mean, you can see that's about the size of my palm there. And yeah, that's about it. This is the first arepa. That's how thick it is. Not too thick because for my taste, I don't like it to have too much, how do you say that, like too much, I don't know how you call that, like too much leftover dough. No, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, I'll show you when it's done. So here's an example of one that didn't quite, I must have not mixed it up enough, you know. So it has cracks, it's not quite uniform. No matter how much I squeeze it, it's just, it isn't quite there, you know. So I have to roll it some more, you know. I don't think I have to add any more water. The other thing is you don't want them to be so mushy that they have no consistency, you know, that maybe you're holding them and it just keeps, you know, kind of spilling. Yeah. Okay, so here are our arepas. Yeah. As you can see, they're quite homogenic or whatever. Now, ideally, I think this should be done on an oven, you know, but I don't have an oven, and I have no idea how to do it on an oven. I've never done it on an oven, so I do it on pans, you know, frying pans or whatever you call that. And I like to use butter, you know. You can also use just, you know, normal cooking oil, and sunflower oil. Anyway, oil. But I like butter because it tastes better. Okay, so I'll add the butter. Okay. Honestly, if it wasn't so unhealthy, I add a lot more. You just add whatever you want, and then the idea is that you use the just low heat, low fire. I don't know how you say that in English, and you leave them for 15 minutes. So we're going to add the arepas. And just put a lid on them. The important thing is that the crust is really crusty, you know, crusty, not mushy, and that the inner part of the arepa it cooks really well, you know. Again, if you have an oven, you could try to do it with an oven. I'm guessing it will be better, but yeah, that's about it. I personally leave them like 15 minutes each side. And I'll show you when they're done. Okay, so here's the end result. Yeah, I'm gonna grab one with the, what do you call this? They actually got a bit burnt, to be honest, but mine are usually a bit burnt. They still taste good, you know. That's that. As you can see, the important thing really is that it's really crunchy. I think that's the word, right? Like, it's not soft, at least not on the outside. So I'm gonna show you how to open them. That has like a bit of technique. Here's also a bit of what we're going to put inside, you know, like the avocado and the onion. My kitchen is a bit small. So the thing for opening the arepas is that, well, for one, they're going to be really hot, probably, so you have to be careful with that. And you don't want to do like this. Also, if it's a serrated knife, that's good, but any knife will work. You're going to stick the knife in, right? You stick it in and then move it, you know, like cut through from the inside, like opening a mouth. Okay, that's a really dark metaphor, I guess, but that's the idea, you know. Stick it in and then just, you know, cut a big smile in the arepa. What you end up with, it's kind of like this. These arepas are actually turned out a bit like, they're really nice because they don't have that much dough inside. Sometimes they do have a lot of dough, so we have to cut out a bit and like hollow them out some. These maybe might not require that much, just a bit. Okay, but as you can see, I took out a bit of the dough, of the leftover dough. It's still good to eat. And mine are actually sweet, as I said before. They're really sweet. Anyway, so this is what you're going to finish, the finished product of the arepa. I'm going to do the other one. You could just eat the arepa, you know, no filling needed if you want, just the mantequilla. Now, as I said, I put it in and then just roll, or whatever you call that. It's really important that the crust is really tough. I mean, like really crunchy, because otherwise it will just fall off or just break, you know, and it's not going to hold the filling that you put inside. These are the arepas, you know. The interesting thing about this is that you can fill it with whatever you want. I mean, we're doing the Reina Pepiada, but you know, you can just do this for breakfast and do like scrambled eggs with sausages or whatever, and just put it in there. You know, just get creative, I guess. You could invent like a British arepa, I guess, with whatever you usually use.